Tiana's Bayou adventure at Walt Disney World and Disneyland suffered from terrible downtime and horrific problems right out of the gate, despite the fact that it was a great attraction before Imagineers started tinkering with it. Today we'll tell you whether Tiana's has gotten any better, and if that's the reason the wait times are often so long. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the That Park Place YouTube channel, where we, as ever, endeavor to have some fun. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve, sure, but really this place is about all the news that should be fun. Folks, click the like button, and let's dive into one of the most controversial attractions at Walt Disney World and Disneyland, formerly Splash Mountain, now Tiana's. Imagineers were very busy messing with things that, for the most part, worked. Sure, the animatronics at Splash Mountain were rusty, crusty, and often clanking. But that's because maintenance wasn't doing their job. And I'm not here to blame the folks who were in charge of maintaining the animatronics at Splash Mountain. Oftentimes it was due to budget cuts. They simply did not have the time allotted nor the supplies to keep those animatronics running correctly. I blame it instead on the executives, of course. Maintenance, those folks are great. But Imagineers came in to try to save the day, wipe away the cultural and social, what shall we say, awkwardness of Splash Mountain. Now that's what they think, not what I think. I believe that it was the most popular attraction at Walt Disney World and one of the most popular attractions at Disneyland. I believe that because I've seen the surveys. I believe that because I've seen the online polling. So, hey, how about objective data, eh? Looks like it to me. Now let's talk about the fact that Imagineers came into an attraction that, in terms of functionality, now aesthetics set aside, because again, as we just said, a lot of the stuff didn't work. A lot of the effects didn't work because maintenance wasn't given what they needed to keep it up to the opening day standards. But functionally, the attraction kept the logs moving, and that meant that guests kept moving. The throughput of Splash Mountain is and was tremendous. Now, Tiana's, however, has a new issue, and that is it's often broken. It's busted. It's a lemon. Imagineers delivered a lemon, not something spicy, but a true, definite lemon to parks ops over at Disney World and Disneyland. Let's talk about how bad it was and whether or not it still is that bad, and perhaps that's why Tiana's Bayou Adventure continues to have at least decent wait times for Disney. They don't want an e-attraction to sit there with a 5-minute walk-on. They want it to have something like 30, 45, an hour, minute wait. And although Tiana's is often not the longest wait time, whereas Splash often was, it still has a decent wait time. Is it because the ride is broken and thus people aren't moving in line? Let's find out. All right, here's the data that we have thus far. From Disney Tourist Blog, and we've done some research here, during annual pass holder previews, the ride reportedly averaged around 4.5 hours of downtime per day, sometimes exceeding 7 hours and rarely dipping under 2 hours daily. Just to give you an idea of how poorly this attraction functioned right out of the gate. This is not something where it began to fall apart months later. It's not something where maintenance was messing up. This was still under the purview of Imagineers. According to Thrill Data, in its first 19 days, the attraction had an average 14% downtime, roughly translating to over 1 hour of daily closure. Now that's out of Thrill Data. Mickey Blog verifies that. And by the way, let us say this too. That's even with the attraction opening hours later than the rest of the rides at the park. So you're talking about still 3 or 4 hours of downtime. The ride also sometimes closed before the park ended. And then that wasn't claimed as being part of official downtime. That was just, scheduling. TouringPlans.com data from early September 2024 flagged an alarming week where Tiana's Bayou Adventure was offline 41% of the time. And again, I just want you to understand how badly this opened. WDW Magic reported that there were days where it was closed for 7 hours. 7 hours. And guess what, folks? It wasn't much better over at Disneyland, even despite the fact that it opened later. These were fundamental flaws that Imagineers simply did not understand, apparently. And I bring this up because, well, it was just a couple of weeks ago that Test Track had a crash during cast member previews? Something is going on at Imagineering where they no longer have the ability to take an older attraction and not just flip it into something fresh with new polish, but also to make sure that that it's safe and that it runs properly. Something odd there. I don't know if it's because I have my, well, I'll go ahead and say it. I stumbled into just saying what I think. I was going to hold back on this. I wonder if it's because Disney has not been hiring the best and brightest in the STEM fields to come work in Imagineering. I wonder. Debut day at Disneyland, meanwhile, for Splash Mountain, Tiana's, saw the attraction down for over 7 hours. Again, that's the debut day, down for over 7 hours, including a 3.5-hour initial outage. And as of July 1st, 2025, with the removal of lightning lane systems due to congestion, Tiana's Bayou Adventure remains in quote-unquote operational flux at Disneyland. Operational flux. So what's causing this? What is happening that is forcing this ride to be down so much? Well, even up until today, the ride suffers from sensor issues, animatronic issues, TPM Vids. I don't know what they're going to do. You can't, if TPM Vids does animatronic fails, they're just going to be filled with Tiana's Bayou Adventure fails. Louis the Alligator's mouth works less, I believe, than the government, and that's really saying something. But let's talk about later in the year and into this year. I've got the most recent data that we have is from Blog Mickey. We've got 14% daily average downtime. That's the most recent data that we have, and we need to get that. We need to get that verified on thatparkplace.com. We may work on that, but 14% daily downtime, and at Disneyland we think it's slightly better. Slightly better. Significant early downtime has plagued the ride at both parks. It's gotten somewhat better, but they call it technical teething problems. If you want to know the internal classification of this. Sensors, synchronization, log mechanics, all that kind of stuff. Animatronics don't really fit into the technical teething problems. And so if you're wondering, why does Disney allow the ride to function when the animatronics are busted? Because that's bad show, and that shows up online and makes it look bad, right? Well, the reason is because if you've got a ride that doesn't function hardly, then if it's hardly working, then you run people through it while it can. You get the idea? In other words, the animatronics, despite being bad show when they don't work, when they're frozen in place or worse, they're still not considered to be a critical e-stop kind of situation, because you take what you can get at this point from a ride that was delivered, broken, and busted. Tiana's busted Bayou Adventure, as they call it. All right, so let's talk about the average wait time at Walt Disney World. We've got that, which is something like in the 40 minutes, and the average wait time high is about 55 minutes, as we disclosed in a video earlier. Now, let's just play with the numbers we have, okay? 14% downtime is the latest number we have from Blog Mickey, right? Okay, so if we take 55 minutes and we say to ourselves, what is the average amount of minutes, or what is the total number of minutes in that 55-minute high wait time, that if we could take the 14% of downtime off of it, what would that reduce us to? And folks, I've got the number for you. That would reduce, if this ride functioned all the time, Tiana's Bayou Adventure should come down in wait time by 14%, which would bring the average high down by 7 minutes to 8 minutes, which would mean, by the way, that we should see Tiana's Bayou Adventure down around an average highest wait time, like the highest wait time on average you're going to see on any given day, would be down around 47 minutes. And 47 minutes is nowhere close to the most popular attractions out there. All of this to say that, yes, the downtime does appear to be manipulating the wait time to make it look like Tiana's is more popular than it would be. Now, add one more factor to that. If Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was open in Disney World, where Tiana's, I think, is less popular than at Disneyland, I think in Disneyland, making those changes might actually have made sense, even if I don't like them, because California has a completely different political landscape. But in Florida, definitely unpopular. But in Florida, when Big Thunder Mountain Railroad reopens, what that means is that if Tiana's functioned all the time, and we believe that the average wait time would be in the 40s, when Big Thunder opens and would pull crowds away in that part of the park, right now there's nothing to do, so people just go, well, I guess we'll have to ride Tiana's, eh? When Big Thunder opens, Tiana's should have a wait time that's in the 30s. Really. And let me tell you something. When you go look at Peter Pan in Fantasyland, and it's regularly over an hour. And then you go look at Tiana's. You consider the operational costs of those two attractions, and realize that apples to apples instead of apples to oranges, Peter Pan pulls in more than an hour, and Tiana's, if everything was fair, would pull in the 30s. I think it's worthy to say it's half as popular as a little Fantasyland dark ride. I think that's fair to say, and less than half as popular as Tron. And I think Tron has significant issues, especially with the brevity of the ride. The brevity of popularity for Tiana's is already here, folks. I hope I've given you the info you need to know when it comes to what's going on with the wait times at Tiana's and whether or not this attraction is truly popular. The downtime stats. I want to thank the websites out there that are keeping track of this. It's really tough to do. So, Blog Mickey, appreciate you. Thrill Data, Disney Tourist Blog, all the rest that we've named, appreciate you. Touring Plans too. All right, folks, that is the video for today. Hope you enjoyed coming our way. If you did, consider clicking that subscribe button. It's a fun time right now, me joining That Park Place, the YouTube channel, every single weekday in the month of July. I'm having a fun time here. What about you? Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts and tell us, have you been at Disney World anytime or Disneyland when Tiana's was broken or down? We'd love to hear from you. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, bring back Splash, and they're not going to do that. Keep having fun. Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.